girl wants to show you how she became this girl. What's up, mamas? Alexandria here, 35-year-old toddler mom, therapist, and gym rat. Losing 40 pounds postpartum changed my life, and so now my goal is to help you so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made along the way, and hopefully maybe make your life just a little bit easier. Number 1, mindset. Number 2, food. Number 3, fitness. And number 4, sleep. So I'm going to walk you through all 4 of these. Now, if that feels extremely overwhelming to you, don't panic. Don't panic. No need to panic. If you can only do one of those things at a time, that's cool. Go one step at a time. Just because there are 4 pieces and 4 components doesn't mean you need to do them all at the same time. If that's not reasonable or feasible for the season of life that you're in, that is A-okay. You can still reach your goals by focusing on one at a time. And in fact, you will likely be the most successful in maintaining this stuff long term if you do focus on one thing at a time. Keeping that in mind, and as we move forward, let's talk about mindset. So mindset, in my opinion, is the most crucial of all of these. Now, of course, I am a therapist, so sure, I'm probably going to believe that more strongly than others, but I do think there is a key component in the thought life around weight loss and exercise and all of those things in terms of being successful. And there are 3 thoughts in particular that will really help elevate you or get you to where you need to be on the start of this journey. Now, I also want to note that I'm covering 3 today. There are some more, and if that video is already up, I will link it. I'm going to do, or I've already done, a specific video around mindset and thought life around weight loss specifically, so I'll link that for you as well as an additional resource. But thought number 1, I believe I can. Now, this may seem silly to some of you, but that is the reality. The research shows that those who are most successful in achieving and maintaining weight loss goals are the ones who actually believed that they could achieve it. Now, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, but Alexandria, I don't believe it. Like, I haven't been successful in the past. Like, I haven't been able to lose weight before, or when I did, I just gained it all back. Like, it makes perfect sense why under the circumstances you might not actually believe this. And so what I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to practice this statement every day for 30 days. Because as Dan Siegel says, the neurons that fire together wire together. And so if you don't believe this statement, it's probably because the thought life around this has been different for a long time for you, and there is a self-doubt component that's fixed in all this. I know there certainly was for me. It's like once you've failed to lose the weight you want to lose, or you end up gaining it back, like there's a certain level of doubt that sort of seeps into your brain, right? Of well, how the heck is this time going to be any different? And I promise you it can be different, but you must first believe it. Thought life number 2, or sort of mindset shift you need to have number 2, me versus me. It's very important as you set yourself up on this journey for weight loss or wellness that you are comparing yourself to only yourself. Comparison is not only the thief of joy, but it's also the thief of progress. When we're worried about what Susie, Karen, Alexa, whoever is doing, it takes away from the power and control that we have for ourselves. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter, what your neighbor is doing or your sister or whomever or whatever. The only person that you need to focus on being better than is the you that you were yesterday. And just keep her going and just keep being better than her. Okay? And number 3 is to let go of the perfectionism and remember that you don't need to be perfect to reach your goals. This one is really important, especially when we think about weight loss and wellness, is because oftentimes we end up in this 2 camp sort of thing. Either we're off the wagon or we're on the wagon. When we're on the wagon, we're eating the healthy foods and exercising and, all these sort of healthy habits. And then when we're off the wagon, we're not. And that's just not true. All of this comes at balance. And when we get stuck in this on off the wagon mentality, what will likely happen is if things don't go the way inevitably we planned they would, or we miss a workout or whatever, and then we become suddenly not perfectly doing the thing, we're much more likely to give up and decide that we can't do it. Sort of that step number 1, right? Rather than just pushing through and saying okay, hey, we had a slip up, or hey, this is just part of life, and learn how to adapt and overcome and just keep pushing through rather than expecting everything to go perfectly, because life is not perfect and it's not going to go perfectly. So those are your 3 sort of mindset pieces. Like I said, I'll link the other video in case you want some more. For after this video. Finish this video first and then go watch that. Okay, now let's talk about piece of the equation number 2, which is food. So step 1 in the food category is first understand what you are eating and what you are putting in your body. I think oftentimes when we first start to lose weight, or we're trying to lose weight for a second, third, maybe fourth time, I don't know, we want to just like jump the gun, right? We want to like get going, move as quickly as we can. Like I need to do this like right this very second. But I want to encourage that you first have knowledge and awareness of what you're eating. Look at how many calories am I actually consuming in a day? And then there are some calorie calculators out there. Some are more accurate than others. I'll link one in the description bar. Actually, I think there's one that just sort of stays linked in my description bar, but that can help you sort of determine or track how many calories you should eat based on the activity level of your lifestyle compared to what you're currently eating. And first, just assess. Like that's the only thing you're going to do is you're going to assess how much am I actually eating. Check the nutrition labels, right? Like a lot of times nutrition labels will say like this is the calorie count, but maybe it's for like the whole box, but the whole box is like 2, 3, 4 servings, right? And so if you're under the impression that you're eating, let's say like a bag of chips, like, and you assume that the serving size is like one of those mini bags. It probably is if it's a mini bag, but if it's in like a larger bag, you might need to know like how many ounces is considered one serving. And if you're sitting and eating a whole bag, right, you probably ended up with 4 servings. So just sit down and assess and sort of keep up with how many calories are you actually eating. And then once you figure that out, I want you to subtract 15 to 20% maximum. And that's where I want you to start as your deficit. Don't go ham sandwich and decide you're going to eat 800 calories or 1200 calories or something crazy like that. That is not sustainable. Don't do that, please. Please. So I encourage 15 to 20%. Start 10 to 15%. Start there and just see what happens. Especially if you are brand new and you haven't been keeping track of this at all, it might surprise you what that small change and small impact of a calorie deficit can have. Because the unfortunate reality is that you will have to eat in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. That's just how the body works, and that's how biology works. So unfortunately, you do have to eat in a calorie deficit, but your calorie deficit will very much depend on your goals, the things that you're trying to achieve, and all of those different camps. So start there. And part 2 for food is to focus on what you are including or adding rather than what you are taking away. And in some ways, this is a little bit of like a mindset shift thing too, but my point is when you think about your diet and nutrition, rather than deciding I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm going to cut out carbs, I'm going to cut out X, Y, and Z, whatever. Rather than doing that, focus on what you're going to add or prioritize in your diet rather than what you're going to take away. So focus on prioritizing protein and getting that 100 grams of protein a day minimum. Now, again, this is going to vary based on your age, your metabolism, all those sort of things. But I think as a general rule, everyone could benefit from getting at least 100 grams of protein a day, and as much of that from whole foods as humanly possible. If you need to supplement with protein shakes or protein bars, you can certainly do that. But prioritizing getting whole foods with protein, and I will put like a picture of some protein sources on the page for you. But it might be things like shrimp. It might be things like chicken, things like that you can add in to your diet to up the protein. And you will find that if you prioritize the protein first and then fill in the fats and carbs to kind of go along with it, you will stay full for longer. And also ensuring that you're adding fiber adequately into your diet so that you can process the protein. The problem is that oftentimes when we think about carbs, we're thinking about these like simple carbs that are easy for our body to digest. And when they're easy for our body to digest, it doesn't take our body long to go through them. And so we end up feeling those hunger cues first. And so we don't actually end up feeling satisfied and end up overeating. So rather you want to focus on having complex carbs that will take longer for your body to digest, that are going to include some of that fiber in there and help you to feel full for longer when paired with the protein, which again is also harder for your body to break down. And listen, if you're loving this kind of content and you're finding it helpful, I would love if you would come and join the family and subscribe. Let me be your non-judgy mom friend who comes alongside you to help you reach your health and wellness goals. And also make sure that you are incorporating foods that you love. Don't exclude those from your diet. If you love something, if it's a food that's really important to you or you really enjoy, don't cut it out, because that is not sustainable long-term at all. Find a way to work it into your budget, into your diet. I don't like the word diet because it has a bad connotation, but find a way to work it in, because trying to exclude it or give it up will be extremely frustrating and also will make you decide that you can't do this anymore. Now let's talk about pillar number 3, fitness. So when you think about fitness and moving your body, number 1 is you're going to find ways to move your body that you love and that you enjoy. Because the key to being more active in your lifestyle is to do things that enjoy and make you feel good and that can have a positive outcome in how you cope. So try on different exercises. Maybe you're like me and you enjoy dance or you enjoy weightlifting. I had to learn to love weightlifting. I didn't always love weightlifting. I had to learn to love weightlifting, and now I really do. But before, for me, it was very much Zumba and dance and things like that. So start building the habit with things that you love in a time capacity that works for you. Again, circling back to number 1, right? Don't expect perfection. Don't expect yourself to be a person who's never worked out in their entire life to suddenly decide you're going to work out 5 days a week. Work your way up. Start with 1 day a week, and once that becomes a habit, work your way up to 2, 3, 4, up to, the total that you have for your goal, and use the time that you have. There are plenty of things that can be done in shorter windows of time. You don't need 60 minutes of a workout for it to count. It all counts. And so I want to encourage that you do the thing that you absolutely love until it becomes a habit. Once exercising and moving your body becomes a habit, whether that's walking every day or dance or whatever the thing is that you end up loving, do that until you create a habit and you no longer have to make effort or put forth energy or quote motivation to get it done. And then maybe consider what exercises you want to utilize to sort of optimize your weight loss or optimize your body. Because if you're going into doing, let's say, like HIIT workouts or weight training because you're supposed to, or because they're like going to help you meet certain goals that you have, if you do that first, it's going to be much harder for you to stay motivated to get the workout in, as opposed to if it's something that you love and just enjoy and you find like life-giving to you. Start moving your body. Then number 2 is I want to encourage you to find an accountability partner. I guarantee you, especially at the time this particular video was going up, I guarantee you someone else in your life that you know is on a health, wellness, weight loss journey of some kind. And I encourage you to find somebody who will be an accountability partner to you and with you to encourage you and motivate you on the days when it will get hard, because it will. There will be days that you don't want to exercise. There will be days that feel frustrating, or you're not seeing the scale moving the way you want to see it move, or any of the other various different things, right? This is not always going to be like the straight, easy, like downward trajectory of weight loss. There's going to be plateaus. There are going to be challenges. And so you need somebody there that can encourage you. And of course, please feel free to utilize the comment section of any video of mine as encouragement for you. I would love for you guys to have conversations and discussions in the comment section. I would love to respond to you and encourage you. I love hearing your stories. I find them very, very, what's the word? Like inspiring is really the word that comes to mind for me. Like, I so appreciate when you guys share your journey with me and what you're working on and things like that. So please feel free to utilize this comment section as a way. I also have a Facebook group that I never talk about if you want to use that as accountability, or a person IRL, because sometimes you just need a person in real life that's going to hold your hand and pull you up off the couch and be like, come on, queen, we're going to the gym. Sometimes you got to be that person for somebody, and sometimes you need somebody to be that person for you, right? So find an accountability partner that will help you in the days that it gets hard. Pillar or piece number 4 of this puzzle is sleep. Now, I've saved most likely the hardest one for last, especially if you are in certain seasons of life. If you're like me and you are a parent and this whole like procrastination thing where like you want to go to bed, but you don't want to go to bed because it's the only free time you have and it's the only time there's any peace and quiet. Like, I get that. I see you. I empathize with your cause. But the importance of sleep to recovery is paramount. So number one is you're going to prioritize sleep and recovery. So for different people, this sleep schedule is going to look different. Now, I'm going to insert a link to some resources that I have found super helpful. So for me, I utilize a Whoop strap, and I did a whole video on Whoop. If you want to watch that, I can link it. But my Whoop strap has been really crucial for helping me to track my sleep and the quality of sleep that I get, because the quality and quantity of your sleep matter from a recovery standpoint. When you're well rested, you're better able not only to manage your stress better, but you're also better able to go and do the workouts and reach your goals. You also need sleep to build those muscles. And the better that we sleep, the better our cortisol levels are going to be and the better our mental health can be. There's a really strong correlation between sleep and mental health. Like the connection between the two is insane. And so it's really important that we prioritize to the best of our abilities to get the sleep when we can, so that we can effectively go into the workout and have energy throughout the day, so that we don't feel like we need to like keep chugging energy drinks or coffee throughout the day. And this whole like, I'll sleep when I'm dead thing, that's not a thing. Because if you try to wait and sleep when you're dead, you might end up on the end of that sooner than you anticipated. Because it's really important for recovery. Okay, moving on. And number two is create healthy bedtime habits. So find a way to make at least 30 minutes before you go to bed a relaxing and enjoyable sort of wind down time for you. Try the best of your abilities to wind yourself down, put your screen away, and create an environment for you that is relaxing and enjoyable. So my sort of bedtime routine really doesn't get started until I've done cat medicine. And so for me, I will get in my bed, and typically, unless my Kindle is dead, I will try to read from my Kindle and read some sort of book, nothing too stressful. I don't even know what I'm reading right now. I'll pop up on the screen what I'm reading in case you care. But I will read from my Kindle for a little bit, and then I will pray, and then I will turn out the light and turn on Calm and go to sleep. I like the sleep stories from Calm. Everybody's different. My husband listens to a podcast while he sleeps because he says the sleep stories are not like enough to keep him distracted and make him from what? It doesn't matter. My point being, I like to use the Calm app, and then I will go to sleep to the Calm app, and of course my son's white noise because I have him like on the monitor. So that's sort of my go-to sleep routine, but everybody's sleep routine looks different. The point is that you want to give your body an appropriate time to wind down in a space and environment that's going to be in low lighting and a nice, just calming environment. Think massage therapy, right? Think kind of like the setting of those. And that's sort of the environment you want to set yourself up for sleep. And if you're thinking, Alexandria, this seems all entirely too simple, I promise you it really is not as complicated as people would like to make it out to be. This does not have to be a complicated thing. Don't overcomplicate it and get in your head about like you need to do some special exercise or there's some magic trick or pill or something that Susie's doing that you're not doing. I'm telling you, it really is this sort of 4-step equation. And if you can get yourself on the path with these steps, you will reach your goals. You need to be patient and trust the process, but you will reach your goals. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to like maneuver your way out of it. This really will help you to reach your goals. And if you're finding this helpful, YouTube will recommend something else they think you will love. And I will, of course, link that mindset video just in case you want to add on to your mindset from pillar number 1. So until next time, bye friends.